So orchestration is basically the sounds that you make up your music out of. It's all the textures, all the sound flavors that you use. It's how you kind of place everything out in the frequency spectrum. So because like humans, they have a certain frequency range that we can hear from. So you have from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, and you want to fill that space up in a nice, in a beautiful way, in a full way, and not have sounds battle for space in that spectrum. So it's basically like when you think about orchestration, then you're really understanding how the sounds are actually like transferred, like the composition. You want the composition to have a great orchestration, so it can be nice to listen to in a full and rich way. And orchestration isn't only about orchestra; it's about everything that you orchestrate together. So a rock track that has orchestration in it, because you have the drums that has a frequency spectrum of its own. You have the bass guitar, the guitars, the singing, the vocals, and all of that, and that makes together an orchestration for the rock. So let's do an example of a bad orchestration. And let's say you have an orchestral track, and you're playing. You're having you're having a lot of low end. So you have a lot of contrabass lines. You have low brass playing at the same time, like tubas and bass trombones. And you have, let's say, kick drum. Let's say there's drums in it, and you decide to, hey, I want to add a bass guitar to this. Maybe that's not such a great idea, because the bass guitar will battle for space in the low end with all of the other low end instruments, and that's basically a bad orchestration. You don't want to do that, because it will sound muddy. It will sound like they are battling for space. You definitely don't want to do that. So an example of a good orchestration would be to enhance the already existing sounds and filling up the space, so not having things battling for space. So for example, I've written here, adding a mid-high strings legato line to play in unison with the horns to get a stronger and clearer melody. In that example, it would be the horns are playing a melody, and you add the high mid strings legato so they play in unison with each other. That in the mid-high range would sound clear and powerful, because they are helping each other make a good orchestration for the sound. And another one is maybe adding a bass trombone and a tuba to play an octave below. Then you kind of get into more composition, but composition and orchestration goes hand in hand. But if you add them an octave below, so they don't fight for space in the low mid register, for example, you would start lifting up everything. You would add a depth to it, a bass to it. So that's basically what orchestration is. It's the sounds, it's the textures, it's what sounds you choose to use for your music. And you want to have the entire spectrum as a full whole working together to provide a great sound for your music. Next up is frequency ranges.